Hello and welcome to Barnes Dennig Ask the Experts. I'm Kat Jenkins, Marketing Director here at Barnes Dennig, and today I'm talking with Robert Ramsey, Director and Practice Leader for SOC Reporting, about SOC readiness assessments. Hello, Robert.
Hello, Kat. Thanks so much for doing this.
My pleasure. Thanks for joining me today.
You bet.
So, first of all, tell me, what is a readiness assessment? Is it similar to a gap analysis?
It is very similar to a gap analysis. It's really the process a company goes through when they're preparing for their first SOC report. We call it a readiness assessment because you're getting ready for that. And the end product is a draft of a SOC report. It includes gathering requirements to be disclosed, controls that meet the criteria. It does depend if it's a SOC 1 or a SOC 2 on whether there are control objectives to be determined and control procedures. In a SOC 1, that's flexible. In a SOC 2, it's a prescribed list of security controls, so it's a little more straightforward.
And what about a gap analysis?
Yeah, thanks for asking. And then a gap analysis is a little more of a focus on the gaps or the differences between where the company is and where they need to be for a SOC report. So in a formal gap analysis, there's a documentation of the 17 things that aren't there yet that need to be fixed. Sometimes in a large organization, when there's a lot of work to be done around approving changes, that's worth polishing and reporting on and formalizing. Sometimes if a company's more nimble, we're able to sort of fix things and advise as we go along. We find it's often faster to kind of go straight to the finish line, if you will, when they're able to do that as we go along. Examples of things would be adding sentences or paragraphs to policies, things that are needed for a SOC report, or asking someone who performs a control on a regular basis to save evidence of that. So if they get an email weekly or monthly, we say, please hold on to that because we're going to need it later when we test this period.
Okay. Does a readiness assessment apply to all levels of SOC reporting?
They do. You can do it for a SOC 1 or a SOC 2. A SOC 3 is a derivative of SOC 2. So if you can do a SOC 2, you're ready for the SOC 3. And then the type 1 is sort of the easier version. So it's what we're aiming for. When we do a readiness, at the conclusion, you're ready to issue a type 1. So it could be a SOC 1 type 1 or SOC 2 type 1. The type 2 reports take a period of time. So after typically doing a readiness, issuing a type 1, in 3 to 12 months, depending on the time frame needed, we're then ready to issue a type 2 report.
Okay. Does a company have to choose during the readiness assessment?
They do need to choose whether it's a SOC 1 or a SOC 2 because that guides those controls. Mm-hmm. The type 1 and type 2 is sort of a natural sequence, so they don't really have to worry about that.
Okay. And then I know also that there's a wide range of costs for readiness assessment. What drives that?
There are. If a company is willing to or wants to do a lot of this work, they can be guided by CPAs. There's a given list of controls and criteria and disclosure requirements that a company can work through on their own, just as I say, with a CPA guiding them. Or they can say, hey, we're busy enough, you're the experts, here's our policies and procedures, you line it all up and figure out where the gaps are or how ready we are. In which case, we're doing most of the work, and so that drives cost.
That makes sense. And it sounds like, too, that companies could save money on a readiness assessment by taking on more of the work themselves. Are there other ways that they could save money during the process?
Very much so. Another driver is their experience with kind of compliance or policies and procedures. So, for example, if they've been PCI compliant or HIPAA compliant in the past, they're well versed in many of these policies and procedures already, and it's much smoother. If they're a younger organization, they usually need a little more help in kind of codifying their policies and procedures, formalizing what they're doing. So that drives cost too.
Great. So tell me a little bit about what makes a great readiness assessment project.
Yeah, the projects go very well when there's a degree of collaboration. So the extent to which we know what the customers want who are going to read these reports, so the organization's user entities, they're called, we're able to design and guide these reports and answer a lot of the questions so we know, kind of beginning with the end in mind. Our team loves collaborating and helping our clients get through these, and so they usually go very well.
Thank you. Well, that's very helpful. So thanks for sharing information about SOC reporting and readiness assessments with us today. Anything else that people should know?
There's a lot they should know, and we're always happy to answer questions. So if they have them, they're welcome to reach out to us through many of the links on our website, call, email. However, there's often a lot of uncertainty, and there's often a chance for the CPAs to help our customers with their end customers determine what kind of report they need and what they want to include in it. We're always happy to help.
Fantastic. Thank you. So for more information, please visit us on barnesdennig.com, and we'll see you next time on Ask the Experts.